Welcome to the video on surface area of pyramids and cones. Surface area and volume of pyramids and cones. So we're only going to be talking about surface area, and so that's going to be section 12.3 in our book. All right, well, here are our formulas, the pyramid formulas for the total surface area, the lateral surface area, and the volume. So remember, the lateral surface area is just the sides, and our total surface area is the lateral surface area plus the base. Okay, so in this formula we have a pyramid with some letters in it that aren't in other formulas that we've used recently. Let's start off by drawing a square pyramid. So the pyramid is named after its base, just like a prism is. So this one's a square, and I have it laying on down, so the point of view of it looks like a parallelogram. And then I'm going to put its apex right up here at the top. And then I have to draw a segment to each vertex. And I'll make this one dotted, just so it looks like it's in the back. Okay, so this is my pyramid. I like to shade in the base. All right, so our perimeter of the base is P, like we know it as perimeter of the base. The L is the slant height, and the slant height is like the height of the slanted triangle on the side. So this little side right here, that's going to be our slant height. It's not an actual height of the pyramid because it's at a slant. The actual height of our pyramid goes from the apex, and it's perpendicular to the base, and it's right down the middle of it. And then, of course, B is going to stand for the area of one base, and this is actually the highlighted part that I have highlighted in gray. So I'll just put that there. And it is right here, the height. Okay, so our total surface area is 1/2 the perimeter of the base times the slant height. That's all of the sides put together, and then plus the area of our base. So the lateral surface area was just the 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. We're going to talk about volume later, but it's 1/3 the base, the area of the base times the height. All right, so let's look at this first example, and then we'll go to our formulas. What is the shape of this base? Well, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, so that's a pentagon. All right, and what is the perimeter of that base? Okay, well, we know that each side is 12, okay? And it's a regular polygon, so it's 5 times 12. And that's 60 yards. Okay? Now let's get the area of our base. Well, this is a regular polygon, and so our formula is, make this bigger, so the area equals 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter. So we have 1/2, and we need our apothem, and then our perimeter is 60. So let's go over here, look at our picture, and there's an apothem right here, and it's 8.3. Okay, so when we multiply that together, we get the area of our base, and that is 249 yards squared. Okay, our height is right here, and that's 11 yards. And the slant height, we have it on this one over here, that's 13.8 yards. All right, so now we're going to fill in the formulas based on our answers. So let's start with the lateral area, the lateral surface area. The reason I want to start there is because we need it for the total surface area too, and then we add to that. So we're going to do the lateral area equals 1/2 the perimeter, which was 60, times the slant height, which is 13.8. Okay, and that comes out to 414 yards squared, or square yards. Because we are doing area, you have to use square units. Okay, let's do the total surface area now. So we have our 1/2 PL, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in. Our perimeter was 60, and our slant height is 13.8. But we already know that's 414 yards squared. And now we have our base. Our base is 249 yards squared. Okay, so that adds up to for our total area, or total surface area, to be 663 square yards. All right, let's look at our next example. What is the shape of the base? Well, I'm going to change this to a 6 right here, and we are going to have a square base. All right, what is the perimeter of our base? Well, 6 times 4 is 24. All right, what is the area of the base? 6 times 6 is 36. And these are miles squared. This is miles. Our height is the 9. And our slant height, we need to figure that one out. All right, so our slant height would be right here, or on any side. And I can make a right triangle using the height and the slant height and this little section right here. Well, this section happens to be just the same as a side length, and it's half of it, so that's 3. Okay, so we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem and solve for our slant height. So we have 3 squared plus 9 squared is going to equal our slant height squared. So 9 plus 81 is 90. And so the square root of 90 is our L. All right. So now we've got all those figured out, we can work on our lateral area, which is 1/2 the perimeter, 24, times the slant height. And so here this is 12 square root of 90. This is actually square root of 90 factors into 9 and 10, 3, 3, 2, and 5, so 2 3s. So that's 12 times 3 square root of 10, or 36 square root of 10, would be the, and that's miles squared. And the approximate answer is going to be 113.84, rounding to 2 miles squared. Okay, now we're going to do the total surface area, and we have our 1/2 PL, which we already know is exactly 36 square root of 10, plus the area of our base, which is 36. This is our exact answer right here, because that cannot be simplified any more than that, and that's miles squared. And then our approximate answer is 155.842 miles squared. Now let's look at the cones. Here are our cone formulas. The total surface area equals pi RL plus pi r squared. So pi r squared is the area of a circle, and so since it's the base, that makes sense. Our lateral surface area is just the pi RL, pi times the r, the radius, times L, the slant height, and then our volume is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. All right, let's draw a cone here. So I'm going to draw an oval, and then I'm going to put a point on it, the top, and draw these down to the side. And then I'm going to have my radius go from the center to that side. And my height is going to go from the vertex or the apex down to the center of the circle. And my slant height is, of course, the distance from the point to the circle along the side. Okay, so do you see a right triangle here? And if you'll please note that the slant height squared is equal to the height squared plus the radius squared. So if we're missing any one of those, we can always find the answer using that Pythagorean theorem. All right, let's look at this first example. What is the radius? Well, we know that our radius is half of the diameter. Okay, so that is our radius. We know our height. Well, we have to figure out our height because it's missing. We have our 9 squared plus our height squared is going to equal the slant height squared. So this is 81 plus h squared equals 225. And now I'm going to subtract 81 and I get 144. So square root of 144 is our height, which is 12. And then the height's given to us as 15. All right, so based on our formulas, we're going to do this lateral surface area first. Our LA is pi times r times the slant height. So our exact answer is going to be 135 pi miles squared. But our approximate rounded answer is 424.115 miles squared. All right, so now that we have our lateral area, we're going to put that here, and I'm going to put the exact one, plus pi 9 squared. The radius is 9. And now we add these together. That was 81, and that's 216 pi, which is approximately 678.584. And these are both miles squared. Okay, you try it. So pause the video and see if you can find the exact and the rounded total surface area, as well as the lateral surface area. You can hold off on the volume for now. Let's see how you did.